Hello, everyone. Hi, and welcome to a brand new show. The show is called Makers and Shakers. And you would be wondering what is a political editor of a channel doing with Makers and Shakers. I'm not going to interview politicians here. I'm not looking at interviewing policymakers or, lawmakers. These are people who are ruling a parallel universe. I'm calling them kings and queens of parallel universe because these are stars on YouTube, Instagram, and their universe is far more real than the real. Their popularity is assessed on the basis of followers, a term, and also subscribers. And these people, men and women, coin new terms and dominate this space, or the parallel world as we often call them. And in this world of makers and shakers is Raj Shamani. Raj Shamani, come in on the screen. Say hello.
Hi, thank you so much for such a great introduction. I feel super great that all of a sudden, in a year from I think a year after we started doing all of this, now everybody's calling us makers and shakers. I feel like really good right now. Thank you for doing
And
that.
thank you, Raj, and thank you for your time. And thanks for this conversation. You don't have to drink water right on the top of the show. We may just have some interesting conversations which will put you on a spot because you are used to putting people on the spot.
Whoa.
Uh, who is Raj? Everybody knows him, but he is on the top of the influencer chart. He's among the 5 young influencers in the country based on your story. And on iTunes, he is among the top 10 business podcaster. Raj, that is a phenomenal achievement. How old are you?
I just turned 25.
And how are you looking at your own career? Would you have thought? I mean,
I'm
you are
I'm just
who's
getting
who in
started.
that
It's day
list.
one. It's day one. I don't see it as like my career has not even started yet. I'm in an internship phase right now. It's just getting started. I say this to my team that this is day one. We haven't achieved anything. We are just getting started. We are tasting what it's like. So you would see a lot more of Raj and what figuring out as a community will become one day. Today it's just internship.
So, in this internship, Raj, when did you realize that you have to be an intern of your own self? And when you say a team, what is the nature of this team?
Okay. So I'll tell you, I started creating content like 5 years ago, but for 4 years, it was fun. I was doing a business of FMCG goods, but at the side, I was creating content. And after pandemic hit, like last year, in fact, 18 months ago, at that time, I realized that it's, I'm just not creating content. I'm educating a lot of people at large candidly. And that was a boomer for me. That I am actually not creating content. I'm not here to entertain people. All I'm doing is I'm bringing out the right education, right? Entrepreneurship education, finance, motivation, all of that very candidly as if their brother is telling them something. So that candidness became my strength. And that is what I call my internship. That, okay, we are building the largest university of candid conversations in the world.
And this Candid Conversation University is only a conversation around business because you realize that business is perhaps full of so many jargons that you have to really break it down.
So that's what we do. We don't use any jargons. That was my problem at the beginning. Like when you start in a business world, right? Everybody wants. Okay, first let me tell you that everything is business at the end of the day. It's all give and take. Business doesn't necessarily mean that you have to go build a $1 billion company, right? It can be a relationship between you and your next job, or you and the career which you're looking forward to, or you something that you love and you want to monetize that. Everything can be business. So everybody needs some kind of business acumen. But the moment somebody opens like news and hardcore newsletters and then these channels, it's so difficult to understand in the first 5 minutes. So difficult. Like somebody has to go through half an hour or maybe 3 days or 7 days to understand what's going on. So that is what I wanted to break, and that's why we built it. So business, if you don't understand the jargons, come to us. That's what we're going to teach you, and we call it figuring out.
Yes. So when you were figuring out your own self, and
Yeah,
you say that pandemic played an important role, when did you
absolutely.
set up this studio that I can see? It's very fancy studio. which has proper light behind you and a nice fancy mic as well. And who all are part of your team?
Okay, right now the team size is around 22 people, and
Wow.
yeah, and it all of this happened in last 1 year. The studio got built on first of this month, like first March. Before that, we were operating just out of house, and actually, this is also a house, but the house is now divided into two parts, and there's a studio, there's office, there's like a lot of stuff going on. But it took me 1 year to reach here. I started by creating all of it myself, and in a year now, I'm at a place where there are 22 people joining me and doing stuff with me.
So, in this group that you have of 20 people, is age a criteria? You need people who are young, vibrant, and looking at different ideas through multiple lenses, or experience वाले भी कोई चलेंगे 35 plus or 40 या अपने ही age के around?
Sub chalenge. At the end of the day, it's somebody who I can vibe with. In fact, we are looking for somebody from
Vibe
the
with.
news world.
Interesting. Vibe with. What does
Yeah,
vibe with mean?
vibe with means can I
That
talk to
you
them off work?
connection. Acha.
It's like, can I talk to them off work? Like, let's say if I'm at the airport with them, can I talk to them anything apart from the work? If I can't, then I don't
Ah.
want them to be in my team, because if we can't talk about rest of the world, if we can't have fun as two people, then what's the point of building a professional relationship? Because professional also is a relationship, right? So if there's no relationship, it doesn't matter. I don't want to hire them, even if they're like top of the world, the best people in the world. I don't want them.
Wow, professional is also relationship. Professional is as much personal as it is. That's a good thought to give, Raj. No wonder people are vibing with you on multiple platforms and your numbers are going up. Um, you chose YouTube as a platform. You chose Instagram as your platform. Why did you choose these platforms? And again, as I asked you, when your journey begins, who are the people who played a role in this journey?
Number one, I started with Instagram. And the first person who played the major role in my life was my dad, because I would ask him about the lessons, and if it would make sense to him, then only I'll go create a content. Because as a kid, sometimes you are scared that whether whatever you're saying is making sense to the world or no, because you haven't seen the world yet, right? So that was like my dad shaped an important role. In fact, whenever my dad would get excited, that reel would do million views. So this was like an exciting turnaround for me, like a checkpoint. Okay, is my dad lighting up or no? So that was the interesting part. Instagram was a short form content for me. YouTube is a long form content where I want people to come and sit with me for 60 minutes. Then I make Twitter content on Twitter where I want people to hear my random mind farts. And then I want people to come on LinkedIn and see what do I think about certain things as a key opinion leadership. So these are four different platforms where I create four different type of content, because I don't want you to see me as somebody who creates reel on Instagram. I don't want you to see me as somebody who's going and interviewing people. I want you to see me as a complete thought leader. That's why I create different kind of content, different timing of content, different places, different platforms, and I think we're doing pretty good everywhere.
So different platform has different Raj.
Yeah. As in, at the end of the day, Raj is same. The thought process is same. The format and the context is different. So, in simple words, it's like on Instagram, it's gonna be top 100 news of today, and quickly, I'm gonna tell 100 news, right? And on YouTube, I'm gonna do a show like this where I'm gonna have makers and shakers. So, from the news world, this is the reference I can give.
And interesting. That's very interesting. And Raj, why didn't you go for a regular job? Why did you not realize? Maybe you would have thought that जल्दी कोई नौकरी मिल जाएगी, फिर अच्छी उसमें growth होगा और उसमें life बदल जाएगी. Why did you not think like many do?
I applied in 70 companies for internships. They all didn't reply to me.
So they
So
didn't
when
apply to you? Oh,
they
good
didn't
one.
reply, nobody replied. And probably I was
They didn't
16. That's
reply.
why nobody took me seriously. But when you're 16 and you're applying to all of these companies, if they don't give you a chance, what do? You go create your own door. And I did the same thing. And while I was doing this, my business of FMCG grew with my dad because I was a good storyteller. So I'm like, I want to become a storyteller at the end of the day. Let me go try to tell stories and tell the world that you can do and make money by doing what you love. So I love
So,
talking. If anyone's ready to pay me because I love talking, then I'm more than happy to go do a job again.
so Raj, when you created your first video, how old were you, and what was it on, and what was the thought that made you create that video?
I was so before creating a video, I used to give speeches. So I gave speeches in Jaguar, Land Rover, TCS, Reliance, Coca Cola, like worldwide across the world. In fact, I went and gave a speech at United Nations Vienna for our country.
Huh,
So I
huh.
used to speak on what big corporations can learn from small businesses, and I used to talk about Jugaad.
Jugaad. Tell
So the
me,
role,
Jaguar to Jugaad.
yeah, I used to tell them what they can do with building personal brands and how they can use Jugaad. These are the two things which lot of large companies are missing on. Like if you look at any big company, right, you don't know a personal brand from their company. If for example, let's say there's Unilever must
Hmm,
have had, I don't know, maybe a lakh employees or 50,000 employees.
hmm.
If all 50,000 of them have a personal brand, they don't need any marketing campaign in the world. They can just build it their own marketing machine, and they don't need to spend anything at all on marketing. But that's what they're missing on, and that's what I used to talk about. Every person and every employee should create their personal brand so that their company grows 10x times more with lesser cost.
No, but Raj, perhaps it's easier said than done. How do you
Absolutely.
create your own brand? How is when will that realization come? And also, not everybody is unique.
Yeah.
You realize
Okay.
that you are one among many.
You don't have to be one among many. Let me tell you, it's very simple. If you want to be the face of the masses, you're not talk like masses. You're gonna talk intelligent, only 5% people will follow you. So you don't have to be really intelligent. You have to be massy, right? And everybody is massy because we are born in a country where everybody has a similar experiences. You crack one joke, 100 people laugh. So because it's life we all have seen. Now let's break down brand. What is brand? Brand is a trust. Okay. How do you create trust? By showing someone an authority that, hey, if you believe me, then if you believe that I have the authority to guide you in certain way, then your life will change or your life will get better. How do you create that authority? By telling people how to change their life on everyday basis. And by changing life, it can be making them laugh, it can be inspiring them, it can be educating them, it can be anything. But you need to tell people that if you do this, your life will get better. And you do this long enough, people start seeing you as an authority. Once they start seeing you as an authority, you use that influence to influence more people. That becomes trust, and then trust becomes your brand. So it's the
So,
only game is right intention and doing it long enough.
so when did this idea dawn upon you? What were you watching? Were you watching some serial or some web series that एक moment आया यूरेका moment कौन सा था?
कि कंटेंट बनाऊंगा.
नहीं इस तरह से सोचूंगा.
This is me when I saw Gary Vaynerchuk. So I went to
See?
Singapore and I spoke. We and Gary, we spoke at the same stage, and I saw that people were hooting and shouting for Gary V. And then he said something about brand building, and I loved it. And it was like, this is it. This is my moment. This guy came out of nowhere, and now the world is celebrating him and actually following what he does. So this just one story and one video has such power. So let me do the same thing. And that's what Gary's journey is all about: consistency. He's been doing that since last 14, 15 years, and now he's a name who he is. So that was a eureka moment. When I saw him first live on the stage, it was, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life for the moment.
And if I were to say, how did it all begin in the sense that for you, how important was your class 10th exams, the 12th exams, or did they never matter?
Okay, 10th till 10th or 11th, I was a horrible student. I would get like 45, 50%. I would barely pass. Good thing I never failed, but I would barely pass. And in 12th, there was this moment where this was February and my boards were in March. So there was like something happened in my family. My dad was not well, and we had a conversation. My dad was like, "You need to do something, or else life's gonna be tough." I said, "Where do I start?" He said, "Wherever." And that wherever was like, let me get good marks in 12th. So in just 1 month, from 45% to I went to 75%. And just because I studied for a month, I thought कि अब एक महीना पढ़ लिया तो एक महीने में इतना हो सकता है. Let me go study more and do more things. And then I started
Ah,
studying and doing more things. Once I started reading like a lot of Forbes and lot of other things, I thought, okay, अच्छा है, अब जब इतना आ गया है तो निकालना पड़ेगा. Where do I put it out? I feel that we humans are like printers. Whatever we input, we output.
acha.
Okay, whatever we input, we output. You've seen, right? Lot of your viewers would be watching your news, and then instantly after your show, they'll start talking to their peers about the same thing which they saw on on your news, right? And that's it. That's the game. You input whatever you input, you want to output. So I started consuming a lot of good things, so that I started producing a lot of good things as well.
So, what was the first video like?
First video was how did I make dishwash gel and started giving it to my friends to get my first sales.
Aha, tell us about it.
Okay, the first time we made dishwash gel and we made around 200 bottles, 250 bottles, because I had 10,000 rupee capital. And out of 250 bottles, I gave 100 to my friends just for free. Told them,
Ah,
ask your mom, ask your
yeah.
dad, ask everybody कि बस ये बताओ है कैसा. I'm not asking you to order. And just because I gave it to them, they felt guilty to give me an order after that. And I got like 70 reorders because the dishwash gel was good. So that was the first learning of my life. Give so much that other person is guilty to give you back. And that was it. Because we all feel that, right? If you look at our marriages, if you look at how Indian society is, हमें कोई envelope देता है तो हमें लगता है यार अब इसको इसकी शादी में जाके देना पड़ेगा उतना ही तो हमने अगर उसके घर पे खाना खा लिया तो हमें वापस हमारे घर बुलाना पड़ेगा. So it's a principle that if we eat somewhere, if we give something to someone, the other person feels guilty to give you back. And that was the first business lesson of my life. I'm going to give so much to so many people that they're going to be guilty to give me back everything. And I don't have to ask them, they'll give it themselves. So this was the first video about.
And in recent times, you have done several videos on because you are a business podcaster as well. Uh, Raj, who was very difficult to interview? And when you interview people, because you have started doing that as well, do requests come in, or do you put in a request?
Both. A lot of requests come in because now obviously we've built a platform where many people want to get featured, but it's still most of the time we request people to come on our show because you choose your own guest, right? You want them. If you have an eye on somebody, let's say you interview politicians, if there's some politician to catch, like he's very difficult to catch a hold on, you want
Yes,
that person
yeah,
only. You only
yes,
want that person.
yes,
Someone who's easily coming,
right.
you don't want them. So it is like that. Someone who was extremely difficult to to interview was, I would say, it's a very pragmatic answer I want to give. It's Nikhil Kamath. Like he's a dear friend of mine. He's a Zero Das co-founder, and he's a really great friend of mine. And why it was difficult because off podcast we have built such a good rapport that on podcast it was very difficult for me to pretend that I don't know all of this. That now what do I ask you, because now I know you so good in and out. What do I ask so that it makes sense to normal audience, because that rapport was built very nicely. So it was a good one. It was challenging for me.
And among the women,
Among the women right now, I would say Karishma's one was really difficult because again it's the same thing. We've built good rapport, so it was a little difficult for me. Karishma Mehta from Humans of Bombay.
and Raj, when you look at this entire thing, we are also seeing that there's a lot of focus on gaming. Um,
Yeah.
you know, what exactly is that world?
That is a new parallel world. So if you see a lot of kids, they are growing up not talking to people but playing. And that is the world we're talking about, right? Everybody's vouching big on gaming because your everyday cricket players have become PUBG players. Everyday football players have now become, right, some XYZ Fortnite player, or I don't know the game's name. So all of these people are
Hmm.
now playing those games. The amount of people who would play football on streets, even if you double them, they are lesser than the amount of people play video games on their PCs right now. So we are talking about impacting and influencing the generation which will shape the country or the world in upcoming years. That is why the hype of gaming is real. Because everybody feel that if you can get in their brains, right now at the age of 13, at the age of 12, at the age of 14, then you have the right guide. And then from 14, when they're turning 18, you can sell your products, you can tell them your story, you can uh, help them out to build a better career. You can misuse it. I mean, it's all up to other people and their intentions. So that's why everybody's excited about the gaming world and everybody wants to get them into it. Plus, everybody loves games. Like you, me, we all, if you actually look at it, at the parties also, we all get excited about certain games. And why people get excited, because there's an adrenaline rush, there's a dopamine release in your head the moment you win something. So that
Yes.
joy of winning, that lottery ticket, that spinning the wheel, so all of that is becoming so real. And now there are ways that everything and every experience can be gamified. So people are gamifying it to convert better, to get better sales, to influence better.
So, are you also into gaming?
I'm not yet. I want to understand. I am now getting into gaming. Like I have certain podcast lineup where I'm gonna get a lot of these gamers and talk to and explain me the stuff how this entire world works. What I'm good at is, I that's what I believe, that I'm good at looking at patterns of where people are spending their time and attention. So if I look at that, younger generation is right now spending their time and attention on the games in the world which is completely virtual. I feel I can see a certain pattern and I can predict on the things which are going to be big in future. So that's what I'm good at. I'm not good at gaming.
So, the trend that you keep talking about, I am good as a political journalist in understanding political trends, election ka direction, as they say. Uh, Raj, um, the kind of impact that you have made and created, is there a lot of pressure on you also to create
It is.
content which is audacious, which is bold, and at the same time very distinct? Because there's so much of content that is being created now. Raj Shamani has a brand, and that brand has to be maintained and taken, as you said, that you are your own intern right now.
Yep. I tell you, okay, this is definitely a lot of pressure because you understand that anything which you say, even if your friends are making fun of you, it's gonna get published in a newspaper, right? Because people feel there's a beef, there's like, all of this is gonna happen, right? No matter if you party somewhere, people are gonna take pictures of you and you're gonna upload it. So it's a lot of pressure and responsibility. That is obviously there. But the
On your
good part would,
conduct.
yeah, on my conduct. But the good part is, I am my own niche. I say this a lot. I have I've built my brand in a way that I am who I am. I've never pretended to be someone else. And that keeps me so good. That keeps me so happy. So every time there's a pressure of me building a new content or trying to do something better or greater, I be very upfront and telling, like I go up, tell my friends and be like, guys, I'm figuring out this new thing. Even if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Are you with me or no? And most of the time, when you're honest, people are with you. So I say this, my content is not something extraordinary. Everything which needs to be said has been said already. Everything which needs to be done has been done already. There's nothing new which I can tell you. Steve Jobs has said the same thing. Bill Gates has said the same thing. Mukesh Ambani will say the same thing. Your pados ke uncle will say the same thing. It's all there. Everybody's going to
Then,
say the same thing. Then the point is, how do you contextualize this? How are you saying it?
mm,
What is not important? How is important? How are you making other person feel that, hey, I am one of you, I tried this, and if I tried this, then this gave me success. If you do the same thing, you can be as well. And that is the game changing part. How is more important than the what? Because what is pretty clear. So Raj Shamani as a brand, I say this, that I'm going to tell you the same things which you already know, but I'm going to tell you
mm.
every day, because we all need somebody to tell us every day what needs to be done. So I'm your daily reminder. That's all.
And this daily reminder realized it early in life that he has to take this path. And this
Yeah.
team that you have built, Raj, it's also about revenue models, like
Yeah.
everything, right? And
Absolutely.
what? Yes. So when you look at the revenue model that you have created for your own self, every platform has the same Raj in a different form. Insta Raj is different from the Raj that is on YouTube and Instagram and other. So that reach, influence, how do you assess that and how do you link it to your revenue? And is your revenue model different from the rest of influencers, or is it the same?
I don't know about rest of the influencers because I never compare or never ask other people what and how they're building their revenue models. What I do is I try to juice out as much as I can for as many models as I can. Because at the end of the day, if you are not doing something good for yourself and becoming an example of it, nobody's going to listen to
Hmm.
you at all. Right. So I'm trying to build a business. First is definitely brand endorsements and internships, endorsements and your how do you advertisements and stuff, right? That is one. That's a major thing. Second is you have speaking gigs because you've built an influence. People call you for speeches. Third is I'm writing a book, so I've received an advance for that, and probably the book is
Oh,
going to
what
be
is
out.
the title? Okay, what is the book on?
The
On
book is
yourself?
no, things you wish you were taught in school.
Ah, good,
That's the title
good,
of the
good,
book.
good.
It's gonna be out next quarter. Then
Hmm.
the fourth is what I've done is the way I have built my team, I'm helping other founders build their teams as well. So as a consultancy, I charge them to help them build their entire personal brands. Then I have been consulting a lot of startups to build their content marketing strategy. Now we are coming up with our own e-commerce and clothing line. Soon we'll be building a platform and a D2C brand as well. So all of these are there are like 7, 8 different models of brand revenue.
Oh, brilliant! Congratulations! I'm so happy for you. Tell
Thank
me,
you.
which school is this? Where did you study?
I
People would want
studied
to know.
okay. I studied in Indore, but in a school named National Public School, and then I did my BBA, like bachelor's. I didn't really do it, but I went to this college called Prestige, and the college were really supportive. The best part about my college
And
was I was saying the best part about my college
which
was
city is it?
Indore. I came to
Ah,
Mitibai in Bombay. I
yeah.
dropped out of Mitibai and then
Ah.
went back to my city.
And
So
do you work out of Indore or no? No
no,
more.
now we work out of Bombay. We have shifted here. 2 years, 1.5 years ago, I shifted here to Bombay now because obviously this is more accessible. Here, there are more opportunities. You can meet more people. So definitely Bombay is the place. But I did my undergrad from Indore, and the best part was I learned in my college everything not from the lectures which were being taught, but from getting a hang of these professors off lectures and having these candid conversations. And that is why I believe in the candid conversation university, right?
Yes, so in this candid conversation university that we are discussing and vibe with, as you say, with your with your viewers, and also vibe with perhaps your readers as well, because you're
Yeah.
coming out with your book, and book is aptly titled, certainly, Raj. Raj, how are you looking at this entire parallel world in the next few years? What transformations are you seeing for your own self
It's
and
it's
overall?
okay. I say this a lot that everybody is going to be a creator and an investor in 10 years from now. Everybody, directly or indirectly. We all will be creating content. We all are going to do that. Because once people realize that you can make a living and live a dreamy life out of doing what you love, you'll never want to do something that you hate. You'll never do it. I mean, at the end of the day, if you look at it in a very basic way, we are getting paid to talk, right? How is this possible? This was not possible 10 years ago. So once people realize that they can get paid to, let's say, talk about cricket or watch cricket or write about cricket or just watch politics or write about politics, so just understand this. I mean, why would they want to go to work and actually work at a place which they hate for 8 hours? They won't do it. So I'm seeing that this place is just getting started. I mean, we all talk about it, right? Job satisfaction is very low, especially in a country like India, because there's a lot of competition around. So once people realize that you can have complete job satisfaction, they're only going to do job when they love it. And if they don't love it, they're going to become a creator. So that's why everybody is going to be at the end of the day creator. This is just getting started. The thing which is going to get difficult and which I'm really keen on is what format will get picked up. The
Hmm.
format, can it is it like reel or TikTok like videos? Is it the show which we are doing like a 1 hour conversation? Is it gonna be just 10-second stories? What is it gonna be like? That is real difficult. Or it is going to be something in metaverse where people are experiencing everything in 4D. We don't know that, but that format, that is something which I'm excited for, and I'm looking forward to that.
So, Raj, what is it that people don't know about you? And
About
which they will, I'm sure the lot of things that you've shared with our viewers is something that people don't know about you, your school life, your college, this candid uh, university, conversation university, your new book that is coming up, your thoughts about multiple issues. You're looking forward to interviewing gamers on your podcasters, so I'm sure a lot of gamers will be lining up as well. So, is this a world, Raj, which is largely for the youth of India?
this is the world for everyone. This is the world which is for people who love things on their on the command of their thing, right? So if you look at the humans, we all want to reduce our pain and increase our pleasures. That's all we want to do. And what is pleasure for you? Absolute comfort. That's pleasure. So if you realize that you can get a content of what you want to see, or what you want to be entertained with, or what you want to learn from who you want to learn in whatever language you want to learn at one click, why would you do anything else? So this is one thing which people would realize, and that is getting started. Two things which people don't know about me. Okay.
Yes.
One is that I have a very entrepreneur first approach. People see me as a content creator. I'm not. I Content is just my one way to outreach and build an empire, which I'm building at the back. So, it,
Empire.
yeah. So this is the one thing which we're building out there, right? Content is just a way. It's not the end for us. It's a meaning which makes us feel alive, which helps us with the distribution and the marketing which we have to do for the things which we're doing in past. So everything I see from the as an entrepreneur lens, everything is business at the end of the day, right? How can I serve maximum value to the people who are engaging with me, and in return, can I get some value as well? That is first thing. And second, which people don't know about me, is I I'm not competing against anyone. Most of the people compare us with, let's say, some other
Ah.
content creator or this guy or that guy. And I'm like, I'm not
Hmm.
competing with the Gary V's of the world or Grant Cardones of the world. My competition is IIM and Harvard. I'm competing against universities. I'm competing against these people who are putting you at one class and feel that only 100 people from millions of people can access to the right kind of information or the knowledge. I'm competing against them, and that is my
So, did
competition.
you try for an admission at IIM or Harvard?
No, no, I don't.
Is this some kind of grudge fest?
No, it's not grudge fest. I just feel that anybody who wants to learn, they should not be judged on the basis of an entrance exam, right? Who said that only one paper can decide whether you can get the access to the world's best knowledge or no? They give definitely the world's best universities, Harvard, IIMs, IITs, they give you the best knowledge in the world. That's definitely there. They give you the best knowledge, right? But why do this access is only to few people? Why can't we democratize this and give it to every person who wants to learn across languages, across globe? So that is the
So,
grudge which
how
I
do
see.
you democrat? Okay, let's share this thought. Perhaps somebody from IIM director would be watching us, or somebody,
Yeah.
perhaps HBS Business School dean would be
Yep.
watching us. How do you democratize knowledge of this nature?
By
Then what
making
would
it
be
access.
the? bu- then why will people work hard towards trying to get themselves admitted in these top business schools of the world?
Why do they have to? They need to work harder on themselves to upgrade themselves, not try to get into something which is a status run for them. If there were like 2 years given to me, why should I study and be disciplined and put my heart, soul, emotions, efforts, money, everything into cracking an entrance exam, which is not going to be relevant for me 10 years after this? Why don't I use these 2 years to either upgrade myself and learn something which is going to be relevant 10 years later, or just have fun and live my life because I'm still a kid? Why do I waste in learning something? So, entrance exam is the problem, right? I understand that these universities will definitely have to cheer out the batch and the top of the cherry and the like good people, right? I get it, and that's the model. My model is You are serving to the top 0.001% people. Let me serve to the other 99.999% people, because everybody has should have the access. The problem is, a lot of people at the time of entrance may not have that kind of ability, that kind of persistence, that kind of grit to get into and become someone. But what if 6 months later they realize that, okay, now they want to change their life? What if 10 years later they decide that now they want to change their life? And that time pay, they don't have to wait to prepare again and give 2 years of their life to get into some exam and become the part of this race. They should just open this channel and be like, I want to become an entrepreneur. Let me learn from the world's top 1% entrepreneurs from figuring out university there.
That's a brilliant thought to end this conversation on. Raj Shamani, I wish you luck and thank you for this conversation. And of course, as Raj said, this is about perhaps giving better and more access to education. And so, in this candid conversation series, we'll continue with more conversation. Raj, hope to see you soon. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts, and thank you for sharing your journey with us.
Thank you so much for having me here. It was fun. I spoke about few things which people really don't know about me. Thanks for bringing
So,
that
I look
out.
forward. Chalo, bye.
Bye.